What's up guys, and welcome back for another video. If it's your first time here, this is the Amazon Reseller Network, and we make videos surprisingly about reselling on Amazon through retail and online arbitrage. So if that is something that interests you, then consider subscribing below. In today's video, I am going to be going through my Profit Protector Pro repricer settings. I will be going through my min and max strategy, my automation rules, my actual repricing rules and which ones I use for the different types of products that I buy, and then finally, I'm going to dive deeper into how often I actually review my settings and the changes that I make. Before I do all of that, one thing I should probably do is give you a little bit of an introduction to Profit Protector Pro if you are not already a user. So this is Profit Protector Pro. All it basically is a automated repricer for Amazon FBA. So instead of you having to go in and constantly change your pricing, Profit Protector Pro will do that for you. Basically, all you will do is set a minimum that you're happy to sell that product for, a maximum that you're happy to sell that product for, a certain rule on how it will actually do the repricing for you, and then you just simply leave it and it will just do all the magic for you. And that is what is so great about it. It saves you a lot of time from obviously going in and doing your repricing every kind of day or so, and it is also going to help you get a lot more sales. And what is really great about Profit Protector Pro, it is actually an algorithmic repricer, so it actually focuses on getting you the buy box so you can actually get the sale, but also increasing your profits at the same time. Just a couple of its features that it lists here. As you can see, it has 10 advanced algorithmic repricing strategies. It has on-page Amazon repricing Chrome extension, which is really good. You can also integrate it with BuyBot Pro, which is another great tool that helps you analyze products. And then it obviously allows multiple marketplace repricing. So for example, if you were to be selling in Europe, this is something that you can do all on one screen. And the final thing that I like most about this software is that it is so easy to use. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate or advanced, you will have absolutely no issues navigating the Profit Protector Pro dashboard and understanding how to actually use it. But today I'm actually going to take you through my personal settings. Alright, so let's start things off with my break even settings. And basically, if you wanted to get to this page, you just go to your account tab up the top, you click on that, and as you can see, you have your break even settings. And this page is extremely important to come in and set up if you want to get the best results using Profit Protector Pro, because of course Profit Protector Pro is always going to want to make you money, and if these settings are out, you could potentially be selling a product at a loss. So just going through the way that I do things, and I'll just explain the different tabs and stuff like that. First off, we have a prep fee. Now, I don't use a prep center currently, but if you were to use a prep center, they would obviously be able to give you the details on how much they charge per unit. Let's say if they charge 50 pence per unit, this is something that you could factor into here. You then have a bundle prep fee. So if they do bundles at the prep center, that is something that you can also do. And basically at the end here, we've just put an extra box if there were any extra fees that you needed to add. What I mainly focus on is these two down here. Now, I have set this to 50 pence per kg. And that is being very generous and on the safe side. It doesn't cost me 50 pence per kg to send products into Amazon, but I've always had this setting set from the times where it was getting close to 50 pence per kg. They have actually dropped the pricing over the last couple of years, but this is just something I've always had set and it's always worked well for me. But you are more than entitled to obviously drop this a little bit to try and match the £3.60 which Amazon actually charge you to send products in if they are under 15 kg. From there, you of course need to set your UK VAT settings. I am on the standard accounting, but if you're based in the USA, you could put not applicable. If you weren't VAT registered yet, you could put non-VAT registered. You've got the standard, like what I said I'm on, the flat fee. And this is really important because obviously depending on what VAT that you pay, or if you have to pay any at all, this will of course play a big factor into your break-even setting. So it's really important to have that. When it comes to ROI method, I just keep mine on method 1. This is simply how I've always calculated my ROI. I don't really understand how people count different types of ROIs, but I think they've made this option because everyone has a different perception on how they calculate ROI. But if you wanted to find more details, all you have to do is click on this one here and it'll tell you the difference between the two. So you've got method 1, method 2, method 3, method 4 and method 5 and so on. Take a look at it. Whatever the best way you calculate your ROI, set it to how you want to set it. Finally, you have the grocery VAT standard settings. Now, one thing to note is that if you are VAT registered, there are some grocery products that you can claim zero VAT on, but if you are non-VAT registered, this is something you don't need to worry about at all. And then finally, of course, when you are actually doing this yourself, when you want to save your settings, always make sure you save changes. Okay, next up we have our minimum and maximum automation. Now, this is a really, really good feature that Profit Protector Pro has added, because before, when you actually had to go into the repricer and add your products, you had to go through each one and set a minimum and a maximum for each product, and you wouldn't really have too much of a strategy behind it. You'd have to work out the ROI that you wanted to add every single time. But what they have kindly done is added min and max automation, and what you can do is set certain rules and then just click one button, and then based on your buy price it will set a minimum and maximum that you are willing to sell that product for and have everything done for you. Now, as you can see here, we have the minimum prices for all the different marketplaces. As you can see, the only one that I actually have switched on and I have rules for at the moment is the UK. This is simply because us UK sellers are having trouble selling in Europe at the moment, but I think that may change in the near future and I'll have to set all of these up. But let's just focus on the UK for the meantime. And basically, as you can see, what I have done is I have set that my minimum price every time I add a product to Profit Protector Pro, the minimum I want to sell that product for is no less than 15% ROI. So whatever my break even is, I'm going 15% up from them, and that is the minimum that I'm selling my products for. So every time I see a sale pop up on my Amazon reseller app, I know at worst case scenario I'm going to be making 15% ROI. There are of course other ways that you can set this. Of course, you can go in and set it 15% above the break even price. You can set it 15% above the buy box. You can add further conditions as well, but I like to really try and keep mine as simple as possible. But it's really nice to have the options there if you want them. From there, you have the maximum prices that you were willing to sell the product at. Now, some people have said to me, why would you have a max price? Surely you want to sell it at the highest price possible. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't let you do that. They have things such as pricing violations, where if you set your product price too high, you can actually get a price alert, which could actually potentially lead you to a suspension. So what I like to really do is set my price as the highest point to be 30% of the current buy box. Now, some may say they would like to go higher, but for me, this just gives me peace of mind, and I've had no price alerts, or I've never had a notification to fix my prices since I've had this at that. And obviously, when I'm buying the products and sourcing the products, they are already at a profit, and if it does go up an additional 30% from the time that I scanned it, then that's an absolute bonus. Once again, I haven't added any further conditions. I've kept it as simple as possible, and of course you can still set the price to be above the break-even price or the ROI on this one, but that's pretty much my maximum price and my minimum price. One thing that you can actually do when you go ahead and set these is you can actually apply this to all of your inventory, but one thing I say is to be very careful with this, because of course this is going to apply it to all of your inventory across your Amazon account. Let's say you've got 1,000 products registered with Profit Protector Pro. Make sure that you have these settings locked down before you do anything. One thing I would recommend is maybe testing these on one product before you apply them to all of your inventory. Oh, and of course, just like the other page, save changes. Now, let's take a look at a couple of the rules that I personally use within my business, and there's two main ones. But let's start off just by taking a quick look at an overview at the top here. This is the strategies page, so you can just find out all the different rules and what they do by clicking on strategies. The first one, you've got the super aggressive dominator. This is very much an aggressive strategy, as the name says. Very much a sales focused strategy and sacrifice and profit. You've got the aggressive sales generator, which is probably just a dumbed down version of the super aggressive dominator. You've got the balanced sale accumulator, you've got the cautious sales enhancer, the dynamic profit builder. All of these have different kind of methods and different ways to get you that buy box, all depending on your strategy. The hybrid profit harvester, the passive profit maximizer, and then from there you've got all of the standard ones, so matching the lowest FBA price, matching the buy box and stuff like that. The one that I use at the moment, and the one that I've found most success with, is the cautious sales enhancer, and this one has actually been around from the start, and I absolutely love this one. And if you watch it really closely, basically what it does is it will focus on matching the buy box. So it doesn't matter whether there's an FBM seller, an FBA seller, it will match the buy box for you. And what it will then do from there is work its way up. And this is where you will see people posting in the Facebook groups about how they set a product that's sold maybe £2 or £3 higher than the buy box, simply because what will happen is this will match the buy box and then it will raise your price, and maybe you will get a sale in that time. That's exactly how I understand it anyway. And this is just simply the one that works best for me with my online arbitrage purchases and also my retail arbitrage purchases. And it pretty much, the proof is in the pudding. It says it's a balance between sales and profit. And for me, I'm not too worried about getting maximum sales and getting my turnover that high. I'm very much focused on profit at the same time, and I really like to go with this strategy. Now, there is one strategy that I also use, and it's actually not an algorithmic based one, and this is one where I go out and let's say I find a really good retail arbitrage deal that only I am selling. And one thing I actually do is I don't actually add my automated min and max prices on there, because if I was to add a minimum price and set the cautious sales enhancer, if it was a product I'm selling for maybe 100% ROI, it could potentially drop that product. Or maybe I had a product that I was happy to sit on for about 9 months and I was selling at really high ROIs. I don't want to be just jumping and getting those sales straight away. And what I actually do is I set my ROI to a much higher in terms of the minimum, and I will actually simply just go for a match buy box strategy. And as it says, this strategy aims to match the buy box irrespective of the fulfillment channel. So it doesn't look at FBA, it doesn't look at FBM, it will just match the buy box. It's not an algorithmic strategy, it's just very much a basic straightforward strategy that all repricers will probably have. But I really do like this with those unique finds that I find maybe where I'm the only seller, and I'm happy to be really patient with this as long as I'm getting that higher ROI, because that's when I'm going in and manually adding my min ROI and my max ROIs to something much higher than my standard procedure that I'm doing with my online arbitrage purchases. And I know that if I have those set and I'm using just a standard procedure like this, when I do get those sales, I'm still getting those really nice returns. So they are basically the rules that I use. One thing that I really recommend that you should do, especially when you are first starting out on Profit Protector Pro, is to come in and analyze it on a weekly or maybe even a daily basis when you are first starting out. It's extremely important to have a play around with all of the different kind of settings, the different rules, because you really want to match it for the strategy you are going for with your Amazon business. Now, for me, my strategy is very much a passive, and I'm not too worried about getting those sales in straight away strategy that I'm using. And basically the cautious one works really well for that, and obviously the match buy box on those more unique items works well for that for me as well. But maybe you have a strategy where you maybe have a lot of capital and you just want to get those sales in at lower ROIs and just get your money turning over quicker, maybe more of an aggressive dominator strategy, or maybe a balanced sales accumulator strategy may be better for you. But either way, you should be having a play with all of these strategies. You should be testing it, and then once you have found your rhythm with it, so to say, I would recommend maybe revisiting Profit Protector Pro once every 2 weeks just to review your settings. Have a look at your dashboard as well, just to see how your repricer is performing, because it provides so much insight as well to it, and then just change and tweak your settings as you go. But that is pretty much my Profit Protector Pro settings. I know a lot of people get interested in how people have their settings and stuff like that. I would probably say I'm very much a basic person when it comes to my settings. I don't have anything too complicated or anything like that, but for me, basic is a really good way to go, especially in business, and if it works for you, there is no point in changing it. So I hope you got some value from this video. If you are using Profit Protector Pro, then maybe you could take on some of the strategies that I use, or at least give them a try. If you haven't got Profit Protector Pro and you are interested in buying it, I will leave a link in the description. That is an affiliate link. If you wanted to go and check out or maybe find out some more information on it, then feel free to go ahead and click that link. Apart from that, like the video if you find it valuable, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I shall catch you guys in the next one. Take care.